Clash in Paris has come and gone, so it is time to take a look at the show. My immediate thoughts of Clash in Paris were I thought it was a good show. There were things that I enjoyed, things that I didn't, and it kind of felt like it was really two different shows at points. The first half, I would say, was just okay. The second half was really, really freaking good. We're not going to waste any more time. We are going to dive right in to reviewing Clash in Paris. Before we get too far ahead in the video, I want to say that if you are a WWE fan, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. That is all we post is WWE related content. So again, if you're a WWE fan, consider subscribing. It's free. You can always change your mind later. So we are going to start off by talking about the match that kicked off Clash in Paris, and that was Roman Reigns defeating Bronson Reed. And right away, it was very apparent that the Paris crowd was going to be simply fantastic. That Roman Reigns entrance was seriously something to behold. And early on, I liked how the referee kind of let both Roman and Bronson fight on the outside a little bit. It felt like it kind of opened up the match a little bit. And I thought Bronson Reed, despite taking the loss in this match, I thought he looked really, really good. Countering a spear, doing a dive to the outside, I thought he looked really, really, really good in this match. And while you can argue that him losing does kind of hurt his momentum that he had with the Tribal Thief, the Shula Fala, but it was the fact that Roman had to use a massive Samoan drop and a spear to take him out. So Roman Reigns gets the pin, 1, 2, 3, and then the shenanigans really start. We get Roman Reigns taking his shoes back, we have him giving a guillotine to Paul Heyman, we have him celebrating on the announce table only to be speared out of nowhere from Braun Breaker. And this, to me, worked, but it really slowed everything down. It took a long, long time. By the time Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker were through seemingly writing Roman Reigns off of TV, a lot of time had passed. But regardless of all of that, Roman Reigns gets the win. I thought the match was fun, and I thought that Braun and Bronson taking Roman Reigns out was good, but it just took way too long for me. Then we move on to the Tag Team Championship match where we see the Wyatt Six retain over the Street Profits. After we get an absolutely amazing entrance from the Wyatt Six. Probably one of my favorite entrances of all time right now, and probably my favorite from the entire show. And right away, we get a little tease of the Street Profits possibly splitting here. Angelo Dawkins wanted to take it upon himself. He holds back Montez Ford, and it's Dawkins who gets the start in the match. And this is something that I think you're going to be seeing more and more of between the Street Profits because it seems as though the Wyatt Six are trying to get in their heads, and it may lead to them splitting up. And the match, for a large portion of it, was a slow burn, but it really started to pick up towards the end. Especially when Dawkins shoulder tackled Gacy, and then immediately after that we had Montez doing the dive over the ring post, taking out Dexter Lumis and Eric Rowan. So overall, I thought this match was solid. Again, it was a slow burn. There were some really, really cool moments, but the big story coming out of this, aside from the Wyatt Six retaining the tag team titles, is going to be the continuation of the Street Profits possibly splitting. Then we move on to the women's IC title match where we see Becky Lynch win and retain over Nikki Bella. And this was unfortunately just a really, really low point of the show. It was very clear that the crowd was not super into it. There were some chants, some cheers, a lot of love for Becky Lynch, and I did kind of like how there was a lot of back and forth moments, but there were unfortunately a lot of awkward moments that kind of took you out of the match a little bit. But then there were times where it actually did kind of look like Nikki Bella was going to win for a second. But as I mentioned earlier, Becky Lynch wins and retains, and a match that we kind of got what we were expecting. We weren't expecting a 5-star classic out of these two. The promo work between those two was really, really good moving into this match, but again, we just were not expecting a 5-star classic, and that was exactly what we did not get. So again, Becky Lynch wins, retains, and that is not the last we see of Becky Lynch. Then we have one of my favorite matches of the night, probably match of the night because it kind of really picked the show right back up, and that was Rusev defeating Sheamus in the good old Donnybrook match. And this match was exactly what it needed to be. We wanted to see brutality from both Rusev and Sheamus, which we know they are both capable of doing. A lot of the kendo stick shots looked brutally painful. We had the shillelagh getting broken in half. We had Rusev putting Sheamus through the bar. We had Sheamus taking Rusev off the barrels and through tables. And we had Rusev kick out of a bro kick that looked like Sheamus caught all of Rusev. And when I tell you that no one thought that Rusev was kicking out of that, I mean nobody thought Rusev was going to kick out of that one. But he did, and he ultimately forces Sheamus to tap. I thought this match was great. I thought it was exactly where it needed to be, coming off of what was kind of a lackluster match. This was exactly the match that was needed to pick the crowd back up, to get the energy back in the show. And as for Rusev getting the win here, I think that opens the door for possibly more between these two, which I'm all for. So hopefully, with Rusev winning, we get more from these two. Maybe we get something at WrestlePalooza. But yeah, this match was exactly what it needed to be. Fun, entertaining, brutal as heck, and hopefully we end up getting more between these two with Rusev picking up the win. And that takes us to probably the craziest match of the night, John Cena defeating Logan Paul. And if you thought this crowd was insane for the Roman Reigns entrance, if you thought this crowd was insane during Sheamus versus Rusev, they were on a different level for John Cena. And even when the match officially got going, it was just the most electric atmosphere that we have seen in quite some time for a WWE match. As for the match itself, I thought it was a really fun match. Mainly because that match was pure fan service. You had an End of Days, you had a zigzag, you had a Cesaro uppercut, and then you even had John Cena hitting a Styles Clash. Which, of course, when the Paris crowd saw the Styles Clash, they went even more insane. But something to remember with seeing the zigzag and the Cesaro uppercut is it is kind of a callback to John Cena's pipe bomb, where, if you remember, he mentions Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, who hit the zigzag, before calling out Claudio, who obviously used to be Cesaro, who became famous for hitting the uppercut. And those are just a few of the moves that were hit during this match. There were a ton of other ones, where if you are a hardcore WWE fan, you would know those moves. So this was a match, again, that was exactly what it needed to be. Again, we weren't expecting a 5-star classic from John Cena and Logan Paul. We know what we're going to get out of John Cena. We know what we're going to get out of Logan Paul roughly, because there are some times where he just does insane things. But it was the fact that it was pure fan service, where, again, if you are a hardcore WWE fan, you would pick up on those moves that took place. So I thought the match was really fun. I thought the crowd really brought the energy throughout the course of that match, giving John Cena yet another win as we inch closer and closer to his retirement. And then that takes us to the Fatal 4-Way match, where we see Seth Rollins retain the World Heavyweight Championship, where Seth Rollins comes into this match all by himself. No Bronson Reed, no Braun Breaker, no Paul Heyman. But I kind of liked that because it kind of added to the match a little bit. Seeing Seth all on his own, I think just really did add to this match a lot. And it was a match where all four got some really good offense in. I thought LA Knight looked really good. I thought CM Punk looked really good. I thought Jey Uso looked really good. But after everything that took place after the opening match, where we knew Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed weren't going to be available, we knew Paul Heyman wasn't going to be available, the talk turned to, is there possibly going to be a fourth member added to the Vision? And that got a lot of people talking about who possibly could be joining the Vision. And the more and more they talked about it, and we got a backstage segment with Seth Rollins where he talked about always having a plan B, we were almost certainly going to get a fourth member added. We were thinking it was going to be someone being called up from NXT, possibly Austin Theory, maybe a returning Ilya Dragunov. And instead we get Becky Lynch. And while I guess it's not technically confirmed if she is joining the Vision, she did make mention of it with Seth Rollins. So that would lead me to believe that she is, in fact, a new member in the Vision. And I think it makes perfect sense. Obviously, you have the real life relationship, husband and wife, between Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And let's not forget, when Seth Rollins initially lined himself up with Paul Heyman, a lot of people were thinking that Becky Lynch was going to join even back then. So now this changes the entire outlook for this group. And you have an interesting dynamic being played here with Becky Lynch, who is very much about not letting the future grow, while Seth Rollins is about letting the future bloom. And not only does it make sense to have Becky Lynch into this group, but it also makes the return of AJ Lee that more possible. Obviously, that is a return that a lot of people have been wanting to see, have been speculating about happening since CM Punk returned to the WWE. Now, I think that there is a legit possibility that she is coming back. So again, Becky Lynch takes out CM Punk, joins the Vision with Seth Rollins, and helps him retain the World Heavyweight Championship. So, this is where I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of Clash in Paris? Did you enjoy the show? Did you not enjoy the show? Let me know why you did or didn't. And also let me know what you guys think could come from out of all of these outcomes. Do you think we could get more out of Rusev and Sheamus? Do you think that Becky Lynch joining the Vision is eventually going to lead to a tag team match possibly? Again, for me, I thought Clash in Paris was a very, very good show. Again, the first half was okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. But the second half of the show was absolutely insane, and the crowd helped with that a lot. So as always, let me know that stuff down below in the comments, and while you're down there, swing by the description and click the Linktree link. That is the only link in bio for a reason, and that is because it'll take you to all of the social media platforms for this channel, and I do suggest going and checking out our X page. Besides YouTube, I am most active over on X. We do updates for Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and the PLEs. And above all else, I want the X page to be a place for wrestling fans to go and talk about wrestling, especially if you're like me and you don't have a lot of people to talk to about wrestling. So if you are like me and you're looking for a group of wrestling fans to talk about wrestling with, swing by an upcoming episode of Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, join in on the conversation, and maybe it's for you at the end of the day. Also, in case you have missed it in the past couple videos, we are officially on TikTok, and I have been working very, very hard at trying to grow that TikTok page. So if you guys are scrolling on TikTok one day and you come across one of those videos, drop a like, drop a follow, show it some love. That would really mean a lot if you guys could do that, so we can try to grow that thing as big as possible. So with all that said and done, that's going to do it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. Both are free and both really, really help out the channel a lot. And of course, if you have made it to this point of the video, I want to say thank you very, very much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch these videos here. You really do not understand how much it means to me. And as always, stay tuned for more WWE content coming in the future. We'll see you next time.